DC fans were eating good today because we're getting a Superman trailer later on today. And in my opinion, we just got the best episode of Creature Commandos so far. So let's talk about it. Now we have episode 4 of Creature Commandos, which finally shows us that vision into the future that everyone's been talking about. Very mixed opinions on. Some people think that James Gunn shouldn't tease anything, but in this situation, it's meant for this story. It's not meant to tease the DCU in the future, at least so far at least. It's meant just to tell its story in Creature Commandos. And now they have to go after the princess to prevent this vision from happening. Of course, love gets in the way like always, and it kind of prevents that for Flag. I'm hooked on this storyline, and I want to see how it continues on. Now, the backstory we got in this episode was for Weasel. They barely showed his backstory, but they somehow still made it work that you felt for Weasel by the end of the episode. Because compared to G.I. Robot and The Bride, we barely focused on the Weasel, but still, they made his story work. You cared for Weasel more than you did before, because now you actually had the story. He's one of those misjudged monsters. He didn't really actually do what they said he did. And we got to see that take place in his flashback. But what made this episode the best episode to me, from out of all the other episodes, is that they were able to tell the Weasel's origin story with not a lot of scenes. Now, some people will say the G.I. Robot was their favorite episode. All these episodes are basically on par with each other. So I'm not saying that some episodes are higher than others. But if I had to pick one as a favorite, right now it could be recently biased, but this one is my favorite episode. Just because they were able to tell the Weasel's origin story without really having to tell it. And they still were able to tell it. And this episode basically introduced us to the main story of the show. We can see where the rest of the episodes are going from here. It has some great comedy. We also got more connections to Peacemaker at the beginning of the episode, which by this point, that's just basically canon. I'm really hooked into the story right now and curious to see where it goes on from here. Then later today, we get our start to the first movie in the DCU, so we'll see how that goes. But anyways, if you like this video, maybe these ones on the side will interest you too. Like, subscribe, and see you guys next time. Goodbye.